California is a state that has a lot of grassroots energy, but there's also, again, it's the most expensive state to live in. And, there's a lot of that corporatocracy that comes as a result of it. And being able to distinguish between the two, I think, is a big deal.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, with both of Bernie's campaigns, I mean, I think he really changed the narrative of politics, like how we're talking about it today. And I think it really resonated with a lot of people. I mean, whenever I talk to people that were involved with Bernie's campaign, they always say that there was actually a lot of people that were conservatives or even like Republicans, like registered Republicans, who were like, yeah, you know what? I don't always agree with him, but like either they appreciated his character and how honest he is, or they actually did resonate with that populist messaging. And how Bernie was really trying to fight for the working class. But yeah, no, in 2020, there was definitely, at least with California's campaign, there was some shady characters working on the staff, and it's really interesting because the state field director for California was actually good friends with one of Anthony Rendon's staffers. And so Anthony Rendon is one of our assembly members that has basically not really cared about either like single payer bill that's come across like, in California, our state. So there was definitely, some bad actors within the 2020 campaign, just like with like the connections and stuff. And the thing is, I mean, it was just like it was shady. And I think honestly, if we had had more grassroots people working within the campaign, we would have at least won California by a wider margin. Because when you look at it, I mean, we started our field about a year before the election, and Biden's didn't even get in here until like 3 months before, maybe, more or less. And yet they were pretty close.
The reason I think that is an issue that hasn't been fully tackled yet is that what people need to understand is that a lot of these local chapters are completely bought off by the party apparatus.
Yes.
So when you need a particular precinct committee leader to basically be on the take and do what's necessary to field a couple thousand votes in this particular precinct, one in could be one in one part of Riverside County and others in San Bernardino County and others in LA County, they know what their marching orders are. And they know when they have to basically ballot harvest is the technical term for it, where they basically say, we need you to go out and we need you to get these particular votes in this particular area, make sure that everybody votes for Joe. And that's all she wrote. And until the people on the progressive side recognize that the only way that we're going to get where we want to go is if we have a GOP approach to politics electorally, we're not getting anywhere, because you have to be willing to put in the work. And on the GOP side, they value the precinct committee leader as somebody who's just as important as the president. And so that whole need for the balance, I think, is very key.
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting, though, you bring up about the GOP, like how they approach this, right? Because I think that, I saw a very kind of a similar approach with like the Nevada Democratic Party, like their state e-board right now, because it was DSA got involved. And before they took over their state party, they actually started with their county parties. And I think with our progressive movement, there's a lot of there's a narrative going on right now that it's like, don't get involved in electoral politics. It's a waste of time, et cetera, it's the system. And it's like, well, you do need to insert yourself into the narrative, because if you don't have like a seat at the table, then you're on the menu. Right. And it's just like, I really want to encourage anyone that's a progressive to actually start getting involved, whether it's like in a club, whether it's in their county parties, just like get involved, or even just like at least join like an outside organization, like, DSA or Sunrise Movement or something, because we really do need all like hands on deck if we want to impact change.
Yeah. And what's also important is that it happens at every level. It needs to be happening at every level. Like, we're very big proponents of local. We think that, especially because it's nonpartisan and you have an opportunity to get people without their, tribe label next to their name in positions that actually do things, people like Kashama Sawant, and you get sort of like You get the movement where it really matters. And and I don't think people pay enough attention to local politics. Most people pay, like everybody comes out and votes for the president, who actually, in fact, has the least impact on your day-to-day life and compared to your city commission and, the people that are your school board. So I think it's important for people to get involved at all levels and not just say, oh, okay, I care about this one national level. Well, that's fine, but that's not where you're going to be able to do the most.
Oh, yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I love that because you make such an excellent point with hey, the president actually doesn't have that much say on your day to day. That's going to be, your county parties or at least your state parties to some degree. Because before there's not a lot of people that realize that they have a state party. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up here. County party, right? And it's just for me, I'm a voting member on my county party and also within the state party. But before I really got involved, I didn't realize that was even, an option. I didn't know who these people were. Now it's I'm one of them because I actually, dedicated the time to getting involved. And so I really encourage anyone that's curious about how politics works is just to, jump feet first and get involved because, that's how you're going to learn. But yeah, there's people that I didn't realize what a county board of supervisors was until, a couple years ago. And the crazy thing is that I really got interested in politics when I was in high school. And it was even a part of my minor. And yet it's you learn about, political ideologies and theory, but they don't teach you about the inner workings of these parties. And I think that that's kind of a travesty.
Yeah. And I think, I don't like the whole party thing at all, actually. I think it's the problem. That's it's so divisive and it's just so unnecessarily tribal, especially when for the most part, they're all funded by the same donors. Let's be real. People that the oligarchs that are in charge here, they win either way. They're hedging their bets. They're supporting both sides. So, from my perspective, there's very little difference if they're not answering the constituents.
Oh, 1,000%. I was just talking to a couple of people that it's kind of right now within America, we're living in we have a corporate Congress, they're represented by corporations. That's how they get their donors and their money and everything and we don't have a lot of politicians are really representing the people right now.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.